It's race day here in Melbourne as we continue with what could shape up to be one of the best Australian Grand Prix. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Albon, Valtteri Bottas, and Verstappen, Ocon, Stroll, Grosjean, and Sergio Perez. Sainz, Norris, Kevin Magnussen, and Ricciardo, Gasly, Fiat, Kimi Raikkonen, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Latifi, and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
We're looking good so far. job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. This is your final lap of the race. Superb driving. That's the race win.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Often my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout.
Welcome one and all, and we're in for a real treat at this classic circuit here today. The crowd are ready to go, the cars are ready to go, and we're just about set for lights out. Welcome to the Italian Grand Prix. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low-drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. And Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are three big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Norris, Ocon, Ricciardo and Lance Stroll, Magnussen, Sainz, Sergio Perez and Grosjean, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Antonio Giovinazzi and George Russell. Latifi and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
You have a lot of wing damage. Box for a new one. Okay, box. We're adjusting. What happened? Let me know you're okay.
Here we are then, a thoroughly deserved win in Italy after another excellent Grand Prix. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Fins have we had now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed, and a good job in traffic as well.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. Welcome to Abu Dhabi, and we're just about to start today's race here at the Yas Marina circuit. This is a track known for its long back straight, and it serves as a fantastic opportunity for overtaking, going into the slow speed corners that follow it. We have 21 corners here at the Yas Marina circuit, 12 to the left and 9 to the right. It's a total lap distance of just over 3.4 miles. There are 2 long back straights opening up some passing opportunities into the braking zones, and we expect average lap speeds of around 123 miles an hour. Anthony Davidson will be sharing his insight alongside me once again today. And great to have you here. What should we be looking out for?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And of course, it's looking very close here today. A lot's going to be riding on those first few corners, and then the question becomes who can manage their tyres so they're in a better position to push hard towards the end.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Alexander Albon lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel and Bottas, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Stroll and Esteban Ocon, Sainz, Perez, Lando Norris and Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Pierre Gasly and Nicholas Latifi. Russell and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals. Let's focus now for the rest of the race. Okay, DRS is now available. Okay, this is Jeff. I need you to stop cutting the corners. If you keep it up, the stewards will award you a penalty. This is your final lap of the race. You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap. fantastic drive. Just fantastic. You deserved that race win.
A real team effort then, which has paid off in spades. A great victory here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us. And welcome to the Bahrain International Circuit. Any moment now, our drivers will take to the track and the Bahrain Grand Prix will begin. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36-mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. Just edging out Alexander Albon will start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Norris, Perez, Magnussen and Roman Grosjean, Ocon, Ricciardo, Lance Stroll and Sainz, Fiat, Russell, Nicholas Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi. Gasly and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can... That's a good start. Keep it up. Mind that front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. A new strategy is available on the MFD. Let's use overtake and burn some of this energy. Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage. Okay, good work. Great pass. We can now use DRS. DRS now available. We're leading our teammate by 6.8 seconds. fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
That's it for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Bahrain and a real champion's drive to take the win. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they secured here. Some amazing talents out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick? Well, it's a pleasure to have you join us here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, as we proceed through to race day to see just who will claim victory at the Spanish Grand Prix. The Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially the flying right to turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. As always, about with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today is Saturday, no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean go for it.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Albon, Ricciardo, Grosjean, Stroll, and Carlos Sainz. Ocon, Norris, Kevin Magnussen, and Perez, Fiat, Gasly, Nicholas Latifi, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Russell, Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Check your MSD for a new strategy option. Position on lap 1, that's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused. DRS is now enabled. Use your overtake more. It's time to utilize some of this energy. Okay, battery's looking good. You could use overtake to get past. lap to the car in front is 2.0 seconds. Race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. And Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they certainly stood the drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on those mistakes of the drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spots.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on the podium once again. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson.
Cool, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon, who's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres. He showed that today.
Well, that's an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us.